are in quarantine, and
we have not seen each other in ages. I miss everybody.
They've got
we
such
all miss
handsome
you too,
faces.
Elliot. Oh God, I mean, in case you're watching this in the future or listening to this in the future, because I have no idea how this is going to turn out.
It may well be an audio recording.
Very much so, and our audio will be very infrequent and terrible, considering the fact that we're just using phone and headphone mics.
This was recorded during for the future. What's left of it? We recorded this during the famous COVID-19 scare.
Yeah, you know the virus that may have caused the apocalypse.
And yet we're all kind of stuck in our own homes. We're all hoping you're safe and self-isolating so that we can get the world back on track as soon as possible. But for the next few months, we're stuck to Google Hangouts to keep this shit going. So you guys are just going to have to grin and bear it for the next couple of months. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
On the plus side,
I apologise for it, but there's nothing we can do.
On the plus side, for us recording the vlog, it means that we don't have to contend with the smell of each other's body odours, which is
That's the best part of the recording.
Actually, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, because
I love sniffing your piss smell.
The only person it's a downgrade for is Cal.
Miles apart from one another, you are all trying to drive me to an early grave.
We'll get there eventually.
We're miles apart from each other. Ren's just upstairs from you.
Yeah, I feel like if I do anything wrong, Cal's going to come and beat me up.
Because me and Ren are in the same house, but we recorded this via a Google Hangout session, which is because we basically did this as a massive fuck you to people that like Zoom, because I'm getting sick of hearing people say, "Oh, Zoom is the best conference call thing ever." Oh, shut up.
Have we tried it though?
Have you never heard of Discord, anybody?
Yeah, Discord's good.
The problem with Zoom is people uninvited can then jump in, so I didn't want that situation happening.
That's entirely understandable.
Yeah, we don't want to be talking, and then all of a sudden, Pup or someone comes in.
Oh yeah.
Although Pup would be very interesting in our conversation.
Yeah, Pup would be a good one. Actually, to be fair, like doing meet hangouts this way means it's easy to have guests on.
Although I will say, when it comes to we finally got around to really getting on with our winter anime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first season of a new decade. What a way to kick off!
And what a start to the decade it's been.
Okay,
a war, a bushfire, and now a plague.
And storms. Don't forget storms.
Oh, and storms as well.
And don't forget the UK leaving the EU.
Woo! Finally! Yay! That's sarcasm if anyone doesn't realise.
Great.
Yeah, and who'd have thought that leaving the EU wouldn't be the worst thing to happen to Britain this year?
But the winter anime, actually. I mean, this is the first season of a new decade. How do you guys think it turned out?
Yeah, okay.
I didn't think it was amazing. I did think it was pretty good though.
Disclaimer:
Yeah,
I did.
People say this is an amazing season and nothing is going to top it, and it's
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real stretch. I'm kind of going, oh, yeah, it was an okay season, but I'd hardly say it was a great season. Do you know what it is? There's a lot of really technically very good shows. I didn't fall in love with anything.
Yeah, I agree. Even like my favorite of the season, I really like. I don't think is brilliant.
Really? I mean, I thought there was one. I've got to say, I thought there was one show that like really stood out to me.
I thought there was about 2 or 3 that stood out for me. Like, these are ultra good shows. I think it was a problem. The thing that's interesting for me was I wasn't really rating this season until I came to do my list.
Yeah.
Second I was doing that, I'm then in a position of, well, actually, this has turned out all right. This season turned out pretty good. We've got what we need, and because it was very hard in a couple of categories. I don't know about you guys.
I found best female female very difficult.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling with that one.
We had trouble with that as well when we had a run on.
There are like 2 or 3 that aren't in my list, which makes me upset because I still think they're amazing.
Hmm.
Do you know what's interesting? There was one show in my top 5 for Best Original where I picked it, and I didn't realise I didn't pick any of the characters for the boy and girl category, and I thought that was kind of interesting that I really rated the show, but I wasn't willing to put any of the characters from that show in my top 5 for that category. It felt a bit weird for me, and I was thinking of taking it out on that basis, but I said, no, I'm going to keep it in. And I'm not going to change the character ones because I don't want to change the character ones. It's a bit of a weird combination, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, I get you.
I mean, I think because we're going to Untitled Wars, so I think we should get straight on the case.
Yeah. First of all, we need to introduce ourselves. We haven't done that yet.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So
So
who are we? I hear you ask.
I'm Calvin, the guy currently sucking at Resident Evil 3 on my own YouTube channel.
I'm Reese, the Gundam Guru.
I'm Ren, the JoJo Genius, and I'm just very pleased that Cal actually made that admission.
Yes,
I'm Elliot, the Vanguard Vagrant. That name finally has relevance again because I finally caught up on it. And the best thing about this layout that we're recording is that you can't see which of us are actually wearing pants or not. We'll never tell.
Yeah, joke's on you, it's all 4 of us.
Okay. I think we need to start talking. I mean, this is the last time we're going to be doing this because I figured out next season, with the exception of Reese, none of us have holdovers next season.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because Reese has got Black Clover, but that's about it. And nothing I'm watching in the winter season is carrying over to the spring. With the exception...
The only thing I can think of that is carrying over to next season is Plundered. But who the fuck likes Plundered?
Yeah, I saw 2 episodes of Plunderer. I don't say I despised it, but it was so unremarkable. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
What'd you say, Reese? Sorry?
I've watched the whole thing of Plunderer.
You watched the whole thing?
Yikes.
Yeah,
What did you think of it?
it actually gets really good.
Really?
It gets really good.
Really?
There's a massive twist that's on par with Attack on Titan.
Oh, damn.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to get back. I probably have to get back on it then. I just didn't.
I heard no one talking about that show at all.
Yeah, and it's also going to be a holdover as well.
Yeah, that's the one holdover. So you will have some holdovers. I don't think the rest of us will, but we think there was only 2 holdovers for me this season. How many did you guys have?
I had 3.
I think I had 1.
4 threes, and you only had My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
So that's red.
For a disclaimer, everyone, I really didn't watch much anime this season. I'm terribly sorry.
I don't think any of us really watched an incredible amount.
No.
Like, at least when compared to other seasons.
Mine's limited to about 4 or 5 shows this season. It's a sad admission. But...
Squished about over 10 series in about a week.
Holy shit.
I've watched like I think I've watched like 9 series, and one of them I've only watched like 3 episodes of.
Okay, that's fair. That's more than me.
I haven't counted, but
Innumerable amounts of anime.
but I think I saw a total of about 9 to 12 series.
9 to 12. That's a good range. A strong range. A healthy range, one might say.
Is that including or not including the disappointments?
That's including the disappointments, because I actually didn't...
Oh, mine wasn't including the disappointments.
It was a very good season. So, incidentally, did anyone not pick My Hero Academia for best holdover?
Me,
I didn't.
Black Clover.
I picked it.
You picked it, I picked it. Reese, you picked Black Clover.
Yeah.
Reese,
My God, that's been amazing.
Reese, no matter how long you hold on to this as the holdover, it's not going to get any more points, my dude.
I don't care. It's still amazing.
I will say, I have to
It's
be...
literally been the hypest show of the season.
That's fair.
I will say, I have been reading the manga. I'm currently up to the tournament arc, and it is really good. I do really like it.
Shonen show with a tournament arc. Gee, who would have thought of that?
Aside from My Hero Academia, I've also got for Holdovers, Cardfight Vanguard, and Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun.
Yeah, Demon School Iruma-kun. We all...
Yeah. That had about 2 episodes left over.
Yeah, well, it went on for at least 12 episodes. I mean, it had 21 episodes.
I meant it's the holdover.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, it was still a holdover, though. It went on long enough into the winter season to count.
Yeah.
It went on until February, and it was actually really good, I thought.
It was really good. I'm really happy it's getting a second season.
Yeah, cool. It's cool it's getting a second season. I mean, speaking of which, just before we went on and did this, My Hero Academia confirmed a season 5.
Well, it'd be weird if it didn't get another season.
I was going to say, it needs immediately to be confirmed.
Yeah,
it's the biggest shonen anime out at the minute, if you don't count One Piece.
I mean,
it's probably bigger than One Piece.
It's really become the cash cow for Bones, hasn't it? It's like that's what people want to see.
At the same time, it's a good cash cow.
Yeah, it's a good cash cow. I'm glad they got a good one. It's not like
Sword Art. It's not like Sword Art Online with A1 Pictures.
Yeah, well, A1 Pictures really can't take a hint. But the thing is, I want to say it's because A1 Pictures can't take a hint. But if my Twitter spats with anime trending fans are anything to go by, it's not like A1 Pictures just keeps feeding this and we're hoping for and they're just keeping going. For some reason, people really still seem to love that show, and I'm just going, really, why? It's so... The last season was so dull.
I'll be honest, I'm just sick of it at this point. I'm just thinking, it's been going for ages now. Just let it end. The SAO arc ended ages ago. The arc that the show is named after ended years ago.
Good news is that next season will conclude this arc once and for all. We're done after this.
There'll be no more alicization, thank God. And let's be honest, I don't think any of us are going to be watching it.
No, I just want to say Kirito in the wheelchair and push him down the hill.
Don't push him down the hill, push him off a fucking cliff.
Okay, so My Hero Academia, what do you guys think of the second half of season 4? That is season 4's... I mean, I haven't seen the finale, but season 4 is pretty much all said and done. What did you think of it?
I think it's pretty good.
I think once you get it right, it's subdued. It's definitely felt sort of a lighter tone. I bet after Overflow,
Overhaul. Yeah, after Overhaul, they did definitely turn it down a bit.
Yeah.
After the American Truck Company.
After Overhaul, and you've had that fight, and you've had the big climactic moments of that. You have to kind of dare downplay at that point and say,
I mean, it somewhat did the opposite of what other My Hero Academia seasons did, which is the first half is somewhat is the mellow part, and the second half really hypes it up. This one sort of did it the opposite way around.
What do you guys think of the school festival portion, specifically the song Hero 2?
I haven't seen all of that one yet, admittedly.
Yeah, nor have I.
It is on Spotify, the song.
It's on iTunes as well. I bought it.
Nice.
It's cool, and that moment with Ari is just precious.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Eri, sorry. Oh, God, what am I on today?
Yeah, Eri.
I will say though, I'm interested to see where they're going to go with this next portion. Like, what is their next? Because I've heard a lot of people say I heard people say after season 3, this is the point where My Hero Academia is going to drop off, but it hasn't. Yeah, I've still really liked everything. I've liked the fact they have still given a portion to virtually every single character, so no one feels wasted. But the thing is, they're running out of characters now to do that too. So I'm wondering, will next season focus almost exclusively on Deku now that they're out of character moments for everyone else?
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is break out All for One out of prison.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I want to stress, none of us are manga readers, so we don't none of us have read the manga ahead, and we don't want spoilers for the manga.
I don't think.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm not one to read the manga at all. Like, I think I'm just loving the anime as it is. I don't want to read the manga and spoil all that.
I don't.
Yeah, it's not like Promised Neverland where you really want to read ahead, which you have, Elliot. So you're.
I have. I'm really excited for season 2 because of it. It's really damn good.
So I think the thing about season 4 for me was it had such a kick-ass first half, and it made so as I mentioned, it made sense to have that lower thing, and yet that lower tone, and yet they still had a great villain with Gentle Criminal.
Yeah,
well, I think Gentle Criminal's great. I think it's kind of interesting that between this and Spider-Man, we've now had Spider-Man PS4. We've now had two villains that are essentially Instagram celebrities.
Wait, in Spider-Man, who was the?
Well, it's in one of the DLC packs. I can't remember what the villain it's something like that. She set challenges for you to do, and
that's funny.
Filming it for like that world equivalent of like YouTube and Instagram. I was trying to get
cool
tons of hits and subscribers.
That's a cool
well,
concept.
that was. I mean, okay, so shall we move on to the next topic then?
Yes.
Let's move on to the actual things.
Let's go on to OPs. What do you guys think of the OPs this season?
They've been some pretty good ones.
Alright, yeah. Decent.
There was some good selections. I mean, there was obviously some of them got very memed, very heavy.
Deserve
we had one in particular that did.
And there was a couple of decent ones that I felt slept through the radar. Like some of the ones I didn't include on my list, I really wanted to include things like My Hero Academia's new OP was really good.
I'm surprised that.
I kind of wanted to include a few other ones, but I didn't get a chance to get down to it, and it was quite hard. It's like, I really want to put that one in there, and I went, I can't really. I'll tell you what I didn't like, which didn't make the list, was the new Madoka Magica OP. I was kind of like saying, you need an OP. You can't have an OP with this tone now, because we all know the twist in Madoka Magica. You can't now have this one as well.
Yeah.
You now know the twist doesn't fit the new tone. So,
especially considering people who will have seen this one will have seen the original Madoka Magica. Admittedly, I didn't, unfortunately.
Incidentally, I might really pissed off Reese now if he's picked Madoka Magica in his top 5.
I've not.
But let's start with your top 5, Reese, and I'll get the scorecard ready.
Okay, so 5th place, I've got Somali and the Forest Spirit.
Pretty good
I'm
OP.
not
That's
surprised.
a relaxing one.
Number 4, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun.
Excellent.
3rd, Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken.
3rd.
I'm surprised you've got your number 1.
Yeah. 2nd, Railgun T.
Of course.
There we go.
Of course.
Black Clover OP10 is
Black Clovers. In all fairness, when has Black Clover ever had a bad OP? Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I don't watch I haven't been watching Black Clover. Yeah, I love a bunch of the OPs that they have.
Is that your number 1, Reese?
Black Clover.
Was Black Clover your number 1?
Yeah.
That's the one thing I can't fault it for is it does have very good OPs consistently.
Yeah, no, I heard there was a lot of
which is annoying.
A lot of the Anitubers that do music were covering it, so I did hear it occasionally. It is a good one.
Yeah, literally as an OP, it's a great song with great visuals. It's my favourite Black Clover OP now.
Really?
Over number 3.
Over number 3? That is genuinely surprising, because I thought nothing was going to top that one for you.
No, especially because there were 2 versions as well of the OP.
In that case, I'm going to need to listen to it. It sounds really cool.
Okay, Elliot, let's see if we can actually get a 3-pointer on the board.
Well, I will. Number 5 is Isekai Quartet.
Again, that's kind of surprising that you're the first person to have that one on the board, but anyway. Yep.
Number 4 is Inspector.
Okay.
Number 3 is ID Invaded.
Yeah, not surprised you like that one.
Number 2 is Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken.
Okay, this is another surprise one, because I thought that was going to be number 1 for virtually everyone.
And number 1 is Darwin's Game.
Oh wow! Hell yeah!
Wow.
I really like the OP.
It was a really good
Game.
OP. Thank you.
I genuinely thought it was really good. Like, it was one I kept consistently listening to throughout the entirety of it.
Yeah, that show did have good OPs and EDs. I think.
Yeah, I wasn't major on it, but yeah, I get your point. Ren, what about you? What was your lot?
Okay, so mine was number 5 was Darwin's Game.
That's number 1 for Darwin's Game.
Number 4, My Hero Academia.
Okay, doesn't get a point because it's a holdover.
That's fine. Then 3, Science Types. Number 2, Somali and the Forest Spirit. And number 1, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken.
I'm very surprised that that's the first one Izukun's had. The meme factor works out there.
I think with Eizouken, the main draw to it is the visuals in the OP rather than the song itself.
No, the song's pretty fun.
It is a fun song. That's why it's number 2 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really cool.
Did everyone think it was a bit similar to like a Mob Psycho opening?
It was very similar to Mob Psycho, wasn't it? Yeah. It's really absurdist. It's very surreal.
At the same time, the animation. The animation is a bit mob-like.
Yeah.
I actually kind of reminded me a lot of Fooly Cooly as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of in general though.
It just reminds me of Trigger. It just reminds me of Trigger really.
I think
it's definitely a Trigger.
That director and that anime studio, because they also did Devilman Crybaby, didn't they? I think their animation style is very, very reminiscent of like Trigger and kind of things like Fooly Cooly and stuff.
Considering how successful Crybaby is, I'm surprised they didn't put all their shit on Netflix.
Yeah.
So my top 5, I had Isekai Quartet at number 5. My number 4 was Science Types. My number 3 was Inspector. My number 2 was Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. And my number 1 was Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. It was a very close call between Toilet Bound. I kept going back and forth, but Toilet Bound was the one where I was going back to it every fucking week. And I was very surprised the whole thing that Hanako-kun does at the beginning is not become a meme as well. The whole I can't say that business.
Sign language? Oh.
Am I the only one who put inspectors on?
No, Carl got it.
On mine.
Ah, yeah, okay.
But,
it was just off my list.
Yeah. It's same with Somali for me. Somali was like just barely made it off my list.
Oh no, I took it on.
It was an amazing thing.
Do you know what? The couple I was very surprised in. One I was very annoyed I took off the list was Smile Down the Runway. I really wanted to put that one on the list, but I didn't quite have a place for it.
That OP just kind of annoyed me with the song.
Yeah, it's not the best song in the world, but visually it does quite work for that show. Somali was another one I was really wanted to put it on the list. And it was nearly there. I just put it off for Isekai Quartet because I thought that one amused me a bit more. But one thing I don't like about Somali is that the song changes so much throughout it. So like it has so many different moments in it, and so like it feels like they spliced together about 3 songs into one. It's
probably one long ballad song, and then they have to just kind of cut it down to 1:30. It's like the same with the Well God Only Knows. The Well God Only Knows.
It would be a bit. Bohemian Rhapsody and turning into an OP. It would be very hard to do.
It'd be interesting.
Well, that's that could be one for Anime Fight. What show should get Bohemian Rhapsody as an OP?
Probably Evangelion.
Oh,
I think that would work. I think Evangelion would work.
No, I think someone's messaging me on my Facebook.
Oh.
Because it's very interesting.
My phone's just got 10% battery, so the camera's shut off.
Oh, Reese has turned into some kind of mecha creature.
I'll go charge my phone.
That would be sensible.
This will be an interesting vote. So, was there any other one interesting? Only Elliot had it. which I found
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm the only one who had ID invaded. I'm just genuinely surprised by that.
I nearly had it. It reminded me a lot of the Psychopath OPs. What's interesting?
I've never heard any of the Psychopaths LP, so I wouldn't really know.
The guy who did a couple of them were done by the guy who did the Tokyo Ghoul OPs.
Done by him.
Yeah, no, he did the first one. Which incidentally is not my favourite OP in the series. It's actually the second OP for Psychopath. Is my favourite of the bunch. But
That's interesting.
Hipster.
What do you mean a hipster?
I'm just taking
If
the
I
piss.
remember,
I'm 29. You can't call me a boomer.
I didn't call you a boomer. I called you a hipster. But now that we're on the subject, boomer, you are a boomer.
Also, I'm pretty sure. I think the guy who did the Tokyo Ghoul piece might have done one of the EDs for the Promised Neverland.
Oh really?
What's interesting? Yeah, I think he did. One of the interesting ones here, though, is that Darwin's game got 4 points in that round. So he got 3 from Elliot and 1 from Ren.
Yep.
How did you? Was Darwin's game a big? I wasn't huge on the Darwin's game OP.
I think you underrated it.
I thought it was really. I just thought it was really good.
I liked it as well.
I just thought it fit the show well.
Yeah,
likewise.
Darwin's game is not really a big one on my radar this season, so that probably is why. But I thought it was all right when I watched it. I just wasn't like, this is going in my top 5 OPs. It was kind of like, well, it was kind of most of my opinion on Darwin's game. Well, that exists.
Yeah.
I personally prefer the ED over the OP.
The ED is actually all right, all things considered. But I will disagree with that one. I preferred the OP to the ED, but both were all right. I mean, I'm probably going to be at odds with the group in this one, in the fact that I wasn't huge on Darwin's game, and I think everyone in this group was.
I thought Darwin's game was alright. I didn't think it was anything too spectacular.
It's just another Midnight Nikki. I enjoy watching that.
It's just another one of those sort of battle royale game, thriller sort of things.
Yeah, I'm always in the market for
We'll talk a lot
that.
more about Darwin's game as we go along, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
we'll talk about it.
Now that we've got, because I think we've analysed it pretty well. I mean, the OP that scored them. I think the only thing to say before we move on is the OP that scored the most was predictably "Keep Your Hands Off Isoken," which
of course it was.
I mean, it was memed the hell out of, and it was the OP everyone's going to look back on. But when I was looking on, I think it's a really good YouTube channel called Anime Openings Weekly, I believe it's called, and they do sort of these votes on everyone's favourite OPs, and I've voted a few times, and I've become part of the subscriber special, and it was never ending up in the top 10, which I was always finding. It was never in the top 10. I swear to
Really?
God.
That's bizarre.
And yet it was the most popular one. I mean, it had all the meme factors like the Zetsubus and the...
Yeah, the dances are brilliant.
Like the songs at the beginning.
But it's interesting is second place is a joint between Darwin's Game and Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun, which both got that way by being a runner-up on one list and a winner on another. Like, Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun was my favourite of the bunch because I just thought that song was kick-ass.
Admittedly, I haven't even seen the show, let alone heard the OP. So it's on my list, but I just never got around to it.
I watched a couple of
I'll tell you
episodes.
what, if we pick it today, which I'm very doubtful on the basis that you haven't watched it, I'm very doubtful we will pick it, you are not going to be disappointed, I will tell you that much.
Yeah,
And
don't be put off by the title.
Yeah, the
I
title.
know, I've heard it's really good. I might actually check it out after we've finished recording or something.
I mean, that being said, I kind of had to fall. And it's a very good. It's like I'd say it's kind of a new metal OP. I'd say, sort of thing.
Which has surprised me, Carl, because I know you're not particularly a fan of new metal.
I'd say I like some new metal. I like Disturbed and I like Slipknot, but it's more when they went ultra grimy that I felt. I went, where's this going? I mean, it's like I'm not. One of the things I did find interesting though, Hanako-kun one was actually composed for that OP. That was a song written for that show.
Yeah.
Which which I think it actually works. I mean, I'm glad it's not John Mob Psycho 100 that's getting that treatment. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Isaac's was made for the OP.
Surprisingly, no, it's not.
Really? But they both fit so well together.
I know, I'm surprised too, but apparently it was released as a single.
Huh,
I don't know why they're doing that. Anyway, let's move on to the EDs at last, because I think this is, and I'm going to make a bold statement here, hot takes on 101. This was the worst season for EDs that we have done since we started this show.
Yeah.
I admit there are actually a few EDs I actually really liked.
I didn't say there was none I didn't like, but there was only two that I thought really belonged on my list. It was a lot of unremarkable EDs.
I managed to get 4, but one of them had to be a holdover.
Yes.
From a holdover. I did not think that many were really that great.
I got 5, and I was being very charitable.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
5.
A lot of them were just very forgettable. Maybe though, one of the EDs I actually thought was better than a lot of the OPs.
Okay, I'll be interested to hear on that one. Incidentally, Red is not being very good because he's eating a bunch of grapes. So we'll start with Reese. What was your top 5?
So, I've got Darwin's Game.
There we go. There's another one for Darwin's Game.
Somali and the Forest Spirit.
No surprises there.
Keep Your Hands Off Izoken.
Yep.
Then second, I've got Railgun T.
More Railgun.
I'll explain after. And first place, I've got Inspector.
Okay, that's interesting.
Interesting.
What have you got, Elliot?
Number 5 is My Hero Academia.
Okay.
Number 4 is Isekai Quartet. Oh, sorry, Isekai Quintet. I refuse to call it Isekai Quartet because it's stupid.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Inspector.
Okay, that actually surprised me. I thought that was going to be your number 1.
Number 2 is Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin.
Okay.
And number 1 is ID Invaded.
Yeah, that actually had a pretty good one, actually. I'll give you that.
I think that one was legitimately really damn good.
Ren,
I went
have
for...
you stopped stuffing your face?
Yes, thank you. So fifth science types. And then Somali is underneath that.
Fourth.
Then Keep Your Hands Off Azakan. Then My Hero Academia. What, sorry? Yeah. Like I said, I've only watched about 4 or 5. So number 2 is My Hero Academia. ED7 that is. And Darwin's Game was my best ED.
Number 1. Okay, so I'll tell you how the table's looking at in a bit, but I've got to do mine. My number 5. Oh, I recognise that face already. I've got Keep Your Hands Off Izoken. Then I got Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. Then I went for Isekai Quartet. Then Somali and the Forest Spirit. And my number 1 was Inspector.
Huh. Am I the only one who had ID Invaded on this list then?
Mine just came in number 6.
No.
I legit thought the ED to ID Invaded was really good. Like, I legitimately think it's better than a lot of the OPs.
It is a pretty good one, actually. I'll give you that one. It didn't quite make my list, but it was nearly there.
It's a bit too rap focused for me.
Yeah.
At the same time, I kind of like that style of rap, really.
Didn't you like? Didn't you like that Shield Hero OP with a lot of rap though, Reese?
Yeah, well, that had really good guitars and instrumentals in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely more that's how you work that type of music, is rather than some other examples which haven't worked out so well.
Thank you for that statement, Carl.
Mainly things like Mr. the Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Which was
a good idea.
That was the only good thing about that show.
Yeah.
Would you say there was a bit of rap in the last OP to Villain Saga?
No.
Yeah, but that's
No, not really, because it was man with a mission.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just sounded. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, they do have some rap in their music, but it wasn't that prevalent in the last Finland Saga OP. Oh, find out if it made our.
I think it was a bit. It was just a little bit. I don't think it was like like a lot of it, just like a tiny bit.
No, it's interesting that Hands Off Bazookan was the only ED that all four of us had on the list.
Have we got a new member?
And it was never a winner. It was never a winner for any of us.
Yeah.
Didn't win a single one. No, that was
Again,
extra surprising.
It was let down, I think, because the animation was so simplistic. It could have done some interesting stuff considering how animated the OP was.
Yeah, because the song was alright.
Yeah.
The song is good.
But it's pretty obvious that the OP is where that budget went.
Yeah. Well, the OP and the rest of the show.
Well, yeah.
But, it's pretty obvious they didn't have a budget for a really proper ED, so they kind of just said, well, we'll take this one and we'll go with it.
You could argue that it fits the theme because, like, throughout the show, the three characters have issues with production, so...
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Sounds a lot like us.
Yeah. Yeah. What would RED be? What would RED be?
Oh god, Rain's cracking out.
Oh no, Ben. No.
Have I died?
No, Ben, stay
You're
innocent.
still alive, man. You're still alive.
Okay, that's a relief.
Barely.
I can't. I can't actually see what image I'm projecting to you because I'm only in the bottom right of my camera, and so that's what will be on the recording.
If you tap your face, it brings it full screen.
Does it? Should I just have that instead of you guys?
No.
Yeah.
Because I don't just want you on video.
Okay, I think we're all agreed. We're just gonna have my face.
I'm gonna kill you.
There I am. Looking good.
You see this, Red?
How do I get back to everyone else?
I don't know.
Neither do I. Oh, okay, I've done it.
Click on that and it does the thing. Look,
I've done it.
Again.
Right, me and Elliot both picked Inspector. We were the only one. It got first place for both of us. We were the only ones who picked it.
No, you and Reese picked it. You and Reese picked Inspector. I did ID Invaders.
Oh yes, I thought you picked Inspector as a runner-up. I thought Inspector was going to be your number one based on the fact how much you liked the OP. But I really like the Inspector ED.
Yeah, it's
The
amazing.
ED was really good.
It kind of has that. It has the really funky jazz vibe that works so well with a show like this. But
Yeah, definitely.
it's kind of like if you go with this pseudo noir idea, you need to go full circle with it. And jazz works so well. I mean,
Yeah.
Why have you
definitely.
picked this over everything else?
No, this was really good visuals as well with like the formal dancing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It's I mean, it worked out very well. It was a nice bookend to a lot of
Oh,
those
shit.
episodes.
I've just realised.
What have you
Sorry. No, I've just realised I should have been including something. Never mind. I can make some adjustments on the fly.
No, you can't.
No, I can't.
One of the things I found interesting was Elliot's pick was Darwin's Game. No, it wasn't. It was It Invaded. Darwin's Game did make one of our lists, so I'm pretty sure
It was my favorite OP.
it was your favorite OP. No, did anyone pick it for the EDs?
Yeah, I picked it for 5th place.
I think
Yeah,
Ren
that was
picked it. I think
Yeah, I
Ren
think
picked it for his favorite.
Who? Me?
Did you
Darwin's
pick
Game,
that?
yeah.
You picked up.
Yeah, it was a good idea. I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, it's also interesting that it's kind of shook up the board a bit because number one at the minute is Keep Your Hands Off.
Just as a disclaimer, I'm not having Darwin's Game win this. Even if it does get, I'm not having it win.
I can guarantee it doesn't have that many points from me.
That's good.
Then it's got Inspectors at second place with 9, and third place is Darwin's Game with 8. But I can guarantee Darwin's not winning this.
In an astounding upset, Darwin's Game is anime of the best of winter 2020. It'll be another fucking Knights and Magic, I guarantee.
Oh, we're not.
No, anime of winter is Ishizoku Invaders.
We are
Like
not.
Ikishoku in Reviewers.
We are not ever talking about that anime.
I haven't even seen a single episode. I don't know.
You don't
I'm
want
just
to know.
saying this in a way because it's the first time, pretty much, since we started, that anime has been taken off of Japan,
Everywhere.
which is amazing.
It's like, oh, now we have standards.
Oh yeah, now we do.
Oh, it's all that shit when King's Game was on the air. Okay. Speaking of which, let's move on to our biggest disappointment. So, not a lot of disappointing anime for me this season. Not a lot of anime that made me go, "Oh God, what is this?" So I kind of
That's not for me, but I think that's because I avoided most of the disappointing stuff. I have a couple on.
I couldn't really think of any, to be honest with you. I wasn't.
So my ones. So as a result, my two are not bad anime. They're just anime that didn't quite live up to my expectation.
Mm.
So, Reese, what about you? Did you have bad anime, or does it ones that didn't live up to expectation?
It was a good anime with bad parts because I had Inspector down.
Is that your number one?
Yeah, it's the only one because it had a great start, but the Steel Lady arc went on way too long.
I think they wanted to concentrate on that one arc, and they didn't.
I think that was the main focus of the season, though.
And
Yeah, it just felt like it really dragged.
Yeah, I must be honest. By the end, I was kind of going, okay, you're going on a bit too long with this one.
Yeah,
it's
alright. I enjoyed it.
On the computer for like 3 episodes.
It had some good ideas, and I did enjoy it. But I have to agree with your point. It went on a little too long, but I think they were kind of bound by the fact it was a manga adaptation, and they had to follow that. So let's check out yours, Elliot. What did you have?
I have 3. Number 3 was honestly Isekai Quartet. Mostly because I was expecting more from Naofumi.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I forgot about that.
Number 2 is Plunderer. As we said, it did get better, but I watched the first couple episodes and I really did not enjoy it. And number 1 is one which I'm probably the only one who watched. Order Cinnamon no Bunaga. It's one where a samurai from feudal Japan gets reincarnated into modern day as a dog. It should have been amazing, was actually really crap.
I'm not gonna lie, you hadn't really sold it to me with that premise.
I think it's
from no knowledge as that exists.
Yeah. Well, for once it's me watching the unusual stuff rather than Reese.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, you're looking at the one person who actually kind of defended Citrus and domestic girlfriend.
Yeah, good point.
Well, it is your
Only
fetish.
slightly.
At least for once, it's not me taking those jokes.
Yeah, it's not like you can talk.
Shut up, we're not going down those jokes. What have you got, Ben?
Well, I didn't actually have one, but Elliot raised a good point about Naofumi not really being in Isekai Quartet.
Isekai Quartet?
Well, yeah, because I, to be honest with you, I hadn't really the stuff that I'd watched I was fairly happy with, but then that was a point that really stuck out to me about Isekai Quartet, is that it really should have had more.
Lost all the points it got.
Oh, sorry.
Damn.
Oops.
Well, okay, let's move on. I'm going to give I hate to give a minus score to this one, but Madoka Magical Side Story, I wanted as runner-up, and my number 1 was Darwin's Game.
No! Oh, winner!
Wait, this is good. It loses points now.
Just for me, Darwin's Game, and I mentioned this to Ren yesterday, is incredibly unremarkable. Yeah. It's not bad, it's just unremarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of underwhelming, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I felt like saying, I should not be this underwhelmed by an anime with this presence that basically says all mobile games are evil.
Sorry.
Yeah, hence why you can never trust pop-ups for online games. Speaking of which, this is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
I'll tell you a story. I was with my not in Balamory actually, set in Chester. I was with my ex-girlfriend, and we were watching a film, and we were those bootleg websites like Putlocker and stuff like that. So we were looking to watch what was it? I think it was Sinister or something because we couldn't find it on Amazon Prime or Netflix.
Oh, that's a good movie. Why are you pirating that?
So anyway, we were clicking through lots of pop-ups and like you know how you have to close a load of windows and stuff. One of them that came up was an unskippable 1.5-minute long ad for a game called Cunt Wars. And so me and my ex and both of her parents were stood watching Cunt Wars for 1.5 minutes. And then we closed the pop-ups. And then we closed the pop-ups. And by the way, so this was an amazing, like, try not to come within 5 minutes of playing this game. Fucking. And then I closed it, and then I clicked on the thing again, and it fucking came up again. So twice we had to sit through 3 minutes of unskippable Cunt Wars adverts. Jesus Christ. And I think we'd been together like maybe 2 or 3 months by this time, and this was maybe like the third time I'd met her parents, so this did not bode well.
You think that's bad? One time, a day after I started dating someone, we had a presentation on staying safe with sex.
Oh no, in school. Oh god.
Literally the day after, I was just sitting there thinking, this is awkward as hell.
Well, at least it was well timed. I mean, like you probably did have safe sex after that.
Let's move swiftly on.
Oh.
Yeah, back on track.
She lived in Warrington, so she wouldn't have followed the rules anyway.
Inspector, I think. I must be honest, I'm a bit disappointed that the S.H.I.E.L.D. hero characters didn't play that much of a role. I mean, we got the good episode with Philo.
Yeah.
Which, again...
Yeah,
Philo,
we did still get...
Still the most adorable thing ever.
Yeah, Philo, I mean, come on. If you need a smile put on your face, just watch videos of Philo. She's adorable.
Oh, also, the best character.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Of course, yeah. And, although, did you guys see the when they had a cameo that made it isekai sextuplet?
Yep.
No,
No, I didn't.
I've never seen this, Elliot.
Oh no, I remember when we got like a cameo from Cautious Hero.
Yes, that's it.
Ah, did you?
I just thought it was brilliant.
Oh, that's so good.
It was a school festival. They were about to go and say, "Hey, Sarah, what's we go?" Just like he just went, "It looks dangerous." I just walks away.
That's ace.
It's legit awesome. I was just thinking, and still no slime can. Come on.
Yeah, slime will be next.
That's next season.
Slime will be next.
And of course, Isekai Quarter has confirmed a third season.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, I like Isekai Quarter, so I'm glad we're getting more of it.
It's a really
good.
It's a good way to bridge the gap in between seasons. I mean, we've just got what was it, ReZero season 2, right? Or we're getting it.
That's the only anime production that so far that's received a massive delay because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Do we know when that's still coming out this year, right?
It is still coming out this year. It was meant to come out like this month.
It's meant to come out this season.
It's coming out in July. I personally think it's to its benefit because I think summer was actually going to be a rather dull season, so it's not looking great on the horizon. So with the exception of the fact Haikyuu's coming out at that same time, so ReZero coming out at that time is excellent. I think so. That might be a blessing in disguise. And to be fair, I've waited since like summer 2016 for more ReZero. I think I can wait a few more months.
Yeah, hopefully Isekai Quartet gives us like more seasons of the 4 shows. I think that'll be really good.
Yeah, well,
I really love a new season. I love a new season that comes through, but
Studio Dean's no longer doing it now. Someone else took over. They've done the film, but that's been rather successful. So maybe we'll get more Konosuba. I think overall we're still waiting on more of the light novels getting produced. So I think we're waiting a very long time for more.
And what's happening with Saga of Tiny the Evil?
God knows. There's that film. The film version's been in development hell, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
I really don't know what's going on with Saga Town Evil. Rise of the Shield Hero is already confirmed season 2 and 3, so there's no worry about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Cautious Hero has an amazing ending that needs a season 2.
Yeah, definitely. It really needs season 2.
It could get announced. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a season 2 of Cautious Hero. But at the same time, I would not be surprised if we have no season 2 of that.
It's
I mean, both breweries got been confirmed for a second season, and I think Cautious Hero is better than that, honestly.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Cautious Hero is a better show than both breweries. As much as I thought both breweries was alright, I would not rate it as high enough to say, yeah, I definitely want a second season of that.
I really like both breweries. I thought that was pretty good.
It's interesting.
Okay,
So I was just going to say something quickly about isekai. It's interesting to me that like most of the recent isekai series we've had have either had like a comedic kind of gimmick that drives it. Apart from Shield Hero is probably the only exception. But like everything about
Shield Hero is an exception to the rule.
Sorry.
Because it's a more darker take on isekai.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But it's interesting to me that like Slime, Cautious Hero, like Konosuba's a really popular one as well. Overlord is kind of like a comedic concept as well. Interesting to me that they're all kind of. Sorry.
The thing with isekai, which I've definitely noticed, is that a lot of most of them are just taking one small gimmick and then they're just copying Sword Art Online. Meanwhile, a lot of the good ones like your Shield Heroes, your Slimes, your Overlords, your Tiny the Evils, they're actually doing it a lot different.
Yeah,
like,
very much.
Yeah, that's a very good observation about it. I think the thing is, isekai now got to a stage where there's such a overload of it. There's way too much of it. So as a result,
it's actually kind of fun. It's actually kind of funny because I have a friend called Sophie. Hi, Sophie, who actually said that isekai was her favorite genre. She hadn't seen as much isekai as of course we have, and when she said that, I just went, I'll be honest, I'm sick of isekai. Really? I was just like, yeah, there's so much of it.
Lol.
Yeah, it's like you get so many shows, like you get Isekai Cheat Magician, you get Wise Man's Grandchild, that just don't fundamentally work it, and it's just like, let's just get anything out there. We'll make it.
There's one that's coming out this year called Redo of a Healer, which I am very much dreading because it's essentially all the uncomfortable scenes from Sword Art Online as an entire show.
Oh god.
Well, that was a conception.
So it's Goblin Slayer episode 1 over 12 episodes.
I think
pretty much.
I think one of the things that concerns me, there's one that's out at the minute which could go either way, I reckon, called Eight Son, Are You Kidding Me? Which, I don't know how that's going to turn out, but the first episode was not very promising. I definitely look like Isekai is not going to... It's sort of like there's not going to be less of it, like how Moe kind of overtook the 2000s, and then there was a bit of a lower amount of Moe after Sword Art Online got really popular, and Isekai kind of merged and became a big thing. I don't see Isekai going downwards unless another genre really sells big.
Mecha Resurgence.
Because like a lot of these sort of isekai are still really big in Japan.
Yeah, I think we need to move on to the next one.
Definitely.
Surprise. So, some surprising anime this season. You're going to be very surprised. You're probably going to be very surprised by my pick.
All right.
For this, my top one for this one. So, shall we start with Reese again?
Yeah. So 5th, I got Somali and the Forest Spirit.
Okay.
4th, I've got Plunderer because of the massive twist in episode 8. 3rd, I've got ID Invaded.
Okay, that's interesting.
2nd, I've got Pokemon Twilight Wings.
Yeah. Oh crap! Forgot about Twilight Wings.
And number 1, Izoken.
Oh, right, okay, that's interesting.
Wow, okay.
What was surprising for you about that one?
Well, I really didn't hear many people talking about it going in.
I must be honest, I saw the premise for that one and I kind of went, well, that can be really interesting. I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, my thought on it when I first heard it is, this sounds like Bakuman but with anime, and I love Bakuman, so I'm going to love this.
Speaking of which, Elliot, what was your list?
Okay, well, number 3 was Somali and the Forest Spirit.
Okay.
The first couple episodes did not sell me, but then later down the line it got really good.
Oh, Elliot. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Yeah, it's fine. Number 2 is Science Fell in Love and I Tried to Prove It.
The show that you get up as just fuck already.
Pretty much. And number 1 is both of me. I don't want to get hurt, so I max out my defense.
First points for both of you on the board.
I thought it'd be kind of another trash isekai. Turns out it was actually pretty good. It's basically a better Sword Art Online.
Okay, shall we ask you, Ren? Did you have big surprises?
I've got one big surprise, and that was Science Types. And
Science types?
the reason for that being, I really wasn't massive on Christ, what's it called? Otaku romance. No, the otaku romance. What was it? Love is Hard for an Otaku.
What's koi?
Yeah, what's koi? Yeah, I wasn't huge on that, and I figured this was a similar kind of vein. But then, I don't know.
I must be honest. I kind of think What's Koi is a slightly better show.
That's fair.
I'll
say I learned more from this.
I mean, I'll be honest. I was expecting What's Koi to be a better show than Science Types.
Well, Elliot just disappeared then.
Elliot turned into a robot momentarily. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi's going bad, for Christ's sake.
Oh no.
It's alright, you're still in it.
Okay.
We can see you.
Yeah, I'm still in, okay.
Just start doing sign language.
That won't help. We haven't got video in.
Let's talk.
That's no. That's a fireball jutsu. Stop it.
Sexy juice.
Jutsu.
Talk. So shall we? I'll do my lots. So I only had 3 as well. I had Pokemon Twilight Wings. Then I went for both 3. Same reason Elliot. I thought it was going to be a really rubbish isekai. I really liked it. But my number 1 is a show that I really thought I wasn't going to like at all, and I really ended up doing the entire thing. Smile Down the Runway.
Huh.
It's his first, so it's interesting in this list. Runway and
I'm surprised Toilet Bound isn't on that list actually.
no, I must be honest. I probably should give it a point, to be honest, because I did think Toilet Bound was going to be terrible, and it turned out to be really good. So I probably should put a runner-up on that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, for me. I really, really thought, Smile Down the Runway, I thought this is going to be It's Not For Me. And it was kind of like, okay, they're doing like a sports shonen show. Now they've made it work.
Yeah, it's another one that was on my list for ages, but I never got around to watching, which really makes me sad.
It personally just felt a bit flat to me by the end.
Yeah, it's one of the... Ellie, I would say it's not something you should go out of your way to really see, but it's really quite nice, I think. I actually think
it has got some really damn good reviews. Like, it's got 7.79 on my anime list.
I actually think they made the wise choice of not overly concentrating on the main female character and concentrating on the main male character, because he has a much more interesting arc than she does.
That's cool.
Basically, about the story of Bash, who really wants to be a model, and her friend who wants to be a fashion designer. And again, what's interesting is his factor of the fact that he wants to design clothes for his family while his mum's in hospital. They don't have a lot of money, so he has to really make the most of what material he has. So it's kind of interesting seeing it coming from that perspective, because it's kind of interesting to see that sort of thing. It's not incredibly realistic about the fashion industry, considering how cutthroat it can be, but it and how exploitative it can be. But I don't mind a bit of escapism every so often, and it was all right. It was definitely. I wouldn't say anything pathos about it, but
I say it's something different. Like, it's not one of those sort of non-battle anime that you don't really expect.
Reese, you picked for your number 1, Isaac. You've kind of explained your reasoning behind it. It's interesting you were the only one of us that picked it for this category.
Yeah, because from the previews, it didn't look like it was going to be that amazing.
Yeah, I will be honest, they didn't market this anime very well. That's the biggest issue I had with it. Like,
I don't
it's
know.
like...
I don't normally watch previews, mostly because the previews make King's Game look really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, being in our quota of shitting on King's Game.
We haven't yet met a foot quota for today, have a foot joke,
we are
rather.
stopping that right now.
Not right now. There's time later.
Oh, so that's why Carl like smiled down the runway. Had all the models with shoes on.
Oh, fuck all of you. Let's move on. Elliot and me both picked Boffery. Did you have it as a runner-up, Reese, or did you not?
It would have been number 6 if I had one.
But then, I really went into that one going, this is not going to work, and it somehow worked.
Yeah, because I remember saying to you at like episode 2 or 3 that there was a Gundam reference in it.
Yes, so that was weird.
That I was not expecting.
One of the things But do you know what I quite like about Block 3, which also surprised me? I liked the dub of it. It had a really good dub. I mean, it's a real shame that we'll probably be waiting a very long time to see it finished in the dub, because Funimation's made the very responsible decision to suspend all its dubs so the voice actors are not travelling unnecessarily.
Unfortunately, we got the same with The Invader, didn't we?
Yeah, which the last episode never got done in dub, and it was the one they were doing their same-day simul-dubs for this season. And really, another one that was really good in dub as well, but it was not... It's a real shame we're not going to see that for a while, but totally understandable. Same with all the Crunchyroll dubs, but honestly, I'm not too surprised with Crunchyroll dubs, because I don't get why Crunchyroll's moved into that market, in a sense. Because
I'm not for sure why either.
if you've got a Crunchyroll account, it really means you don't give a shit about dubs. If you give a shit about dubs, you get a Funimation account.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Somali had a great dub.
Yeah, Somali had a really good one as well, actually. That's a real surprise. Again, a shame we're not going to hear the end of that one for quite a while. But again, it's really understandable. But
I wouldn't watch the dub just because Jotaro plays Golem.
Oh yeah, I forgot the actor who plays Jotaro plays Golem.
Yeah. Also, Dio's in one of the animes this season as well that I'll mention to you, Cal.
He's in every season.
Speaking of...
I encounter this man so much, I think I've got to get a restraining order against him.
Speaking of voice actors, I have some really bad news about one. The voice actor to Roten Mushi's recently died.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Who played who?
Roten Mushi from Dragon Ball.
Rushi?
Master Roshi.
Oh, Master Roshi. Oh, right,
Roshi,
shit.
yes, Roshi, sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, Roshi's voice actor's died.
Oh, damn. He had such an iconic voice as well. And he was still in Super.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you one that, though, it's quite... So that's quite interesting overall. The only thing that's changed about the score is Izokin's gone up to 13 points. Second place at the minute is Science Types, which is on 7 points.
Yeah.
And Toilet Bound and Inspector are both with 6. So this is all over the place at the minute. Clearly, that's probably the last time some of these things are going on the board. So let's talk animation. So some decent, really good animation this season.
Yeah, really good.
The animators seem to really put their all into some of these shows.
Have we done sequel? Or a sequel later?
Yeah, you can pick a sequel for animation.
Oh, okay.
That's sequel second to last.
Oh, right, sorry, my bad.
So let's talk the animation. Reese, which shows animations impressed you?
Okay, so I got ID Invaded.
Okay.
Somali and the Forest Spirit.
No surprises there.
Pokemon Twilight Wings.
Mm-hmm.
And Toilet Bound.
Yeah, the animation in that was pretty good. Actually.
And first, Izoken.
Izoken.
Dare I ask, Elliot, what did you pick?
Well, number 3 was ID Invaded.
Okay.
Number 2 was Castlevania.
There we go. It's first point. I was waiting for that.
Because at the same time, Castlevania always has a fucking amazing
Yeah, it does.
animation.
It does.
And
Fight
number
scenes
one
are
is number one is of course Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin.
Mhm.
Though it was really difficult to decide between Castlevania and Isaacin. I just thought like
it's running away.
Isaacin was just that little bit better.
Ren, did you pick Isaacin for number one?
No, I actually didn't.
Okay,
It's on there. I picked Somali,
Okay.
My Hero.
You can't pick it.
Yeah, I know it's on there anyway. There. Shit, sorry, I've lost track. Toilet Ban Hanukkah Kun.
Yeah.
Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin, and then Castlevania.
Hey! Another one for Castlevania!
Just honestly, it's so good. Like
The Castlevania animation is always brilliant.
even the hand-to-hand animation, and then watching the final episode, just so good.
The final episode.
So good.
Man, when they're trying to close a portal, that is amazing.
Yeah, 100%. It's amazing.
Okay, so I had Pokemon Twilight Wings. Then I went for Castlevania.
Mhm.
Then Haikyuu.
First one for Haikyuu, I'm surprised actually.
Well, I think I was the only one watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised you picked one. It took you this long to have one for
No, I was
Haikyuu.
trying to put it in OP and ED, but it wasn't quite as good as the previous season. So then I had Somali and the Forest Spirit, and I picked Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. It's so all of us except Ren picked that one. I mean, the animation in that show is so stellar.
It was awesome.
Again, I'm legit surprised it's not done by Trigger. It's so Trigger-like.
I
Definitely has a
I think. Sorry.
Ongo feel as well, yeah. Gynax.
I agree that I think the well animated scenes, like the ones where they wanted to show off, I think are phenomenally done. However, the reason I picked Castlevania over it is on the kind of still frames, like the in between ones, the non-important ones. There is a little bit of dip in animation quality, which is to be expected, but I'd say that Castlevania did more to kind of remedy that.
I think Castlevania though had a bit of an advantage in its production, the way its production was done.
Well, yeah.
Probably also had a bigger budget.
Yeah,
Probably.
Again, bigger budget makes sense. I mean, Isaac's probably going to look better. I reckon Isaac's probably going to look better when the Blu-ray release comes out and they've had time to fix a lot of aspects of that show. Like Madoka Magica actually looked better when the Blu-ray release came out.
Well, just look at Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Super is another example. Yeah,
I might be surprised. I might be surprised your Castlevania wasn't on your list, Reese.
Yeah, it just missed out. It got picked by ID Invaded.
Alright.
Which two of you picked? I mean, I thought ID Invaded was pretty good.
I picked mine mostly because like the first two episodes where you like the second episode where you see Sakato or Sakaido, sorry, moving the trying to put the city back together. I thought that bit was really cool.
Yeah, that was really good.
That's one of the reasons I put it up there.
Yeah.
It didn't quite live up to the rest of the show. I think the rest of the show didn't quite live up to that sequence.
I thought it was really great. I thought the animation was really great.
Toy Van Hansen also made a few of these lists. It nearly made my one, but there's a few times where it relies a bit too heavily on still frames that don't quite work so well. There's a few dips in, but it's so stylish in every sense of the word.
It definitely has its own sort of unique art style.
Yeah, you're not going to mistake this for something else.
No, absolutely not.
Well,
I'm surprised Holdovers picked Isekai Quartet in that case.
No, Isekai Quartet's a very minimalist show. I don't think it's not trying to wow you with its animation.
Yeah, it's a bit more
simplistic. But at the same time, it sort of fits the art style very well.
Yeah, but you couldn't. I don't think you could compare it against either of those two.
No.
So, interestingly, me and Reese both picked Pokemon Twilight Wings for our one.
Because that show is gorgeous.
I'll be honest, I completely forgot about Twilight Wings.
It was kind of like, a shameless promotions for Pokemon Sword and Shield, but they're really good-looking promotions.
Well, they should have had these before the games came out.
Yeah, I would have been so hyped for all those games if I'd seen
Yeah,
that.
that would have been a lot better. Like, especially considering, like, pretty much at this point, everyone who has a Switch who wants to put Sword and Shield will have the game by this point.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Also, how adorable is How's Wooloo?
yes.
So adorable.
I'm
So adorable.
I'm so glad I call Wooloo now because that was the best episode of the bunch so far.
Yeah.
And that much effort to go into a made-for-YouTube series.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Wait, really?
How is it that they're putting more effort into a made-for-YouTube series than they are for their actual anime?
I think it's kind of interesting. It certainly gives a lot more context to that world. And a lot more.
Because we learn more about the gym leaders.
Yeah, we get a little more about them, and we get more. Everything has a bit more character, which is something that Sword and Shield was slightly lacking in.
Yeah, we also know how Corviknight transports people now.
Yeah, I like it, which again, it seems like the Corviknight taxi driver is the big constant between this anthology.
Yeah.
It is quite, but again, it's all work for that adorable Wooloo.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Keeping up with time, that was the hardest category we had to do, where we all went back and forth.
Yeah.
Best female character.
Oh boy, best female. I always get male and female the wrong way round. That's my listing.
Well, there's a big difference, Elliot.
Easy mistake to make.
Right, I've got tons of interests, but I'll just leave them off.
I should mention before you start, Reese, King Hands of Isoken has jumped so far in the lead, it's got 23 points. And the next one below it is Somali in the Forest Spirit with 10.
Really? Somali's... Wow.
Oh, wow.
Bulletbound Hanaku's in third with 8. So, at the minute, I think we might already have a winner, but let's keep this going to see if it might change.
Right, so fifth, I've got Ayami Himuro from Science Types.
Okay, that's interesting.
Fourth, I've got Somali from Somali.
Yeah, that's easy.
Third, I've got Maple from Bofuri.
Yeah, she was alright.
Second, I've got Sayaka Kanamori from Izoken.
Of course.
And first, I've got Makoto Misaka from Railgun T.
Okay, now the railgun points coming in from Reese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the last episode that just went up last night.
And it was
yeah.
awesome.
Because I had first and second swapped around until last night.
Okay, that was interesting. Ren, what about... no, Reese, Elliot, sorry. Elliot's next.
Number 5 is Sally from Bofuri.
Oh, that's interesting. Different girl.
I just prefer Sally. I thought she was more fun.
Okay.
Than Maple, admittedly. Number 4 is Suka Karina from Darwin's Game.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Midori Asakusa from Keep Your Hands Off Izoken.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is Kotoko Iwanasa from Inspector. And number 1 is Somali from Somali and the Forest Spirit.
Okay.
She's just adorable. She's adorable.
She is. Ren?
I've got Lenore from Castlevania.
Yeah, you runner-up or winner?
Runner-up. And then Karino Shuka from Darwin's Game. Then Kyokujiro from My Hero Academia, of course.
You can't pick the holdover characters.
I'm going to anyway. It wouldn't change. I couldn't think of a fifth one, so.
Just pick Railgun.
No, I'm not giving points where they're not due. Well, they might be due. I don't know whether or not they're due. Himura Ayami from Science Type. And I've just in joint first. I've put all 3 of the girls from Hands Off Eiko and Eizouken.
Can't pick one and stick with it.
You what?
You couldn't pick one and stick with it.
No, of course not, because they're all like equally amazing.
Okay, I'm up. I went with Somali from Somali and the Forest Spirits. Then I had Shimizu from Haikyuu.
Yeah.
Then I went for Yashiro from Toilet Bound Hanaku. Kanamori from Keep Your Hands Off Izoken. And my number 1 was Lenore from Castlevania.
Hey! Brilliant.
Every moment she's on screen.
Yeah. The thing is,
Tiny
The thing is,
BDSM vampire.
There's so many girls I wanted to put on this list that I couldn't. Like all the girls from Castlevania, the rest of the girls from Isaac and the ones from the ones from science types, fucking thingamajig from Castle. Oh my god, there's just so many.
Yeah.
Railgun did it for you, Reed, which is not a surprise because you're the big science and scientific fan out of all of us.
Yeah, it's had 12 years of build-up, and it's literally been amazing these past few episodes.
And you got a great character after that moment. I think we won't. I know we're normally not so coy on spoilers, but I think we should avoid spoilers in this case since it's only just premiered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but here's a question for you though. Who do you think's the bigger capitalist, Kanamori or Tom Nook?
Tom Nook. Kanamori, she says, well, Kanamori says that she doesn't like the money side of it. She likes the power, doesn't she?
I believe the only way to solve this is a rap battle.
Epic rap battles of history.
Yeah.
Tom Nook. They've got to find some way to get Tom Nook in epic rap battles of history.
Yeah, that would be excellent. Yeah. Who would he go against?
Alan Sugar.
Brilliant.
No, Donald Trump.
Oh, even better.
I was about to say.
He's only been in the show twice. Don't give him a third time. Besides,
have we had Jeff Bezos?
We can't have a contagious moron next to Tom Nook.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we talk about Elliot? What was your number one again? It was
Somali.
Somali. Yeah. She was on pretty much all our lists except Ren's. She's a very well written kid character.
She's just adorable. She's just really cute.
And she just acts like a normal kid. That's one of the reasons I quite liked her. She made your list as a runner-up as well, Reese.
Yeah. She's a kid character who's not annoying.
Yes,
yeah.
that's perfect. They didn't make her completely unrealistic, which is one of the things I was very worried they were going to do. It's interestingly, with Somali and the Forest Spirit, my favourite episode was the one-off, which was about the story of the first witches, that girl who had to leave her home.
I like that one.
That one was my favourite individual episode of the bunch, and it's I know it's rather surprising, but it seemed quite interesting that one of my favourite episodes was the one that didn't have anything to do with Somali and the Golem.
Not to mention the relationship between Somali and the Golem is just adorable. It's just so good.
Ren, your list was a complete disaster.
What do you mean it was a disaster?
Yeah. You just picked...
Where are all the girls? There's so many good girls, yet you just picked not so very good...
Well, actually, I picked more girls than you did, because I picked 3 for my main, so,
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
Anyway...
It counts 3 points, so actually it's 1 point per girl.
Castlevania, me and Ren were the only ones who picked... We've never picked Lenore, surprisingly.
Yeah, no, she was the best female character. She was fantastic.
There were so many. I wanted to put all of them on.
She had, like, the sexiest voice I've ever heard, and I don't understand.
She's voiced by one of the former Downton Abbey actresses.
Yeah.
Castlevania already has an excellent all-star British cast.
Yeah, I'll say Castlevania has, I'll be honest, some of the best voice acting I've ever heard.
Completely agree.
Period.
Completely agree.
Lenore's going to be able to do what she wants to do to Hector. It's more a question of how is she going to do it, and how devious is she going to do it, and are you going to side with her?
Yeah, and as it turns out, her scheme was fucking brilliant.
Hector's going to come back with a fucking vengeance next season. He'd better. He deserves better than this.
I think...
My sweet angel child.
With Hector, and I mean, we'll probably talk about this in a minute, but it is interesting with Hector and Isaac. We've taken 2 very bland characters from a little-known PlayStation 2 game, and we've expanded them. I mean, Ben Sagecraft talked about this when he talked about Castlevania, but it does seem interesting that these 2 to be the characters to get expanded.
Yeah, like, oh my god, the arc that Isaac has had in this latest season is brilliant. Like, really good.
That episode...
You have no idea where he's going to go, what he's going to end up doing.
That episode against the other wizard was... Oh, that was crazy. What a mad episode.
I mean, we'll talk about that more in that segment, but I was the only one who picked Yashiro from Toilet Bound Hanafuku. which admittedly Elliot hasn't seen. So I'm kind of surprised I was the only one who picked her. I'm also surprised I didn't. I nearly picked the one from the main girl from Science Types. I nearly picked her.
I'm surprised I'm the only one who picked a Kotoko from Inspector.
I nearly had her on my list, but it wasn't quite.
She's such a fun character, though. She's so fun.
Admittedly, I also find it interesting that.
Come on, who didn't laugh their ass off when she showed pictures of her and her boyfriend? They both looked happy. Yeah, he looked basically dead.
I will say it's also quite interesting that I think it's a great for inclusiveness. It's really great that we've got a character who's the main hero who has a prosthetic leg. I mean, you don't see a lot of there's not a lot of disabled characters in anime. I mean, it's quite interesting that we have that.
Yeah, not just the missing leg, but missing eye as well.
Sorry, what'd you say, Reesman?
Just saying the other major ones like Edward Elric from Full Metal.
Yeah, Edward Elric was the other one. It's quite. I mean, I really liked Inspector, but it wasn't quite enough room for it. I will say, spoiler alert, Kuro didn't make my male list as well, but I was seriously considering him. Speaking of which, I will tell you right now, Isoken's extended its lead to 29 points.
No surprise.
Fine Forest Spirit is in second with 15, and joint third now is Castlevania and Toyban Hanako-kun, both with 9.
I'm glad Castlevania's
I'm pretty sure the next list is going to be one of the only two where Isoken doesn't get any points.
Well, yeah, because it's another one of those universes where men seem to not exist.
It's getting 1 point from me.
Well, no, they do. They're just only the teachers are non-existent.
Okay, shall we? We'll start with. Okay, let's do it to best male. We'll start with you again, Reese.
Right, I've got 5th place, Licked from Plunderer, because of the big twist.
Plunderer finally gets positive points. It's on 1.
Fourth, I've got Kaname Sudo from Darwin's Game.
Okay.
Third, I've got Hanako from Toilet Bound.
Thank you.
Second, I've got the Golem from Somali.
Yeah.
And first, I've got Sakaido from ID Invaded.
That's interesting. Well, I will say it Invaded is doing way better than I thought it would. Sakaido's definitely got a good arc to his character, especially in the last few episodes. I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, but Elliot, what about you?
Number 5 for me was Shinya Yukimura from Science Types. Sorry, Yukimura from Science Types. Number 4 is Koru Sakuragawa from Inspector.
Yep.
Number 3 is the Golem from Somali and the Forest Spirit.
It really
Number 2 was Trevor Belmont from Castlevania. Because, of course, he was amazing in this as always. And number 1 is Akihito Narihisago, aka Sakaido from ID Invaded.
Oh, double pick.
Yeah, Sakaido was really great.
Yeah. Ben, what about you, man?
I've got Shinya Yukimura from Science Types.
Yep.
Then I've got Hiragi Ichiro, who's Florist from Darwin's Game. And then I've got you won't know who this is, but Yuki Ono from Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken. He's the dude in episode 8 who is the who's part of the Robo Club and does like yeah, and he does like and he does like the zip line. So him.
AKA Reese's spirit animal.
Yeah, basically yes. Reese in anime form.
AKA just Reese.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was in the robotics club at high school.
Well, there you go. Case in point. Number 2, I've got Alucard from Castlevania Season 3.
Oh, Alucard.
And number 1, I've got number 1, I've got Saint-Germain from Castlevania Season 3.
Okay. I'm up next. I've got. I'm starting with.
Oh wait, just remind me. Was Saint-Germain the one looking for the infinite corridor?
Yeah, he was Bill Nye.
Yeah, thought so.
Yeah.
So I've got Mikoto Samura from Smile Down the Runway. Starting me off. Yeah. Okay, and then I've got the Golem from Somalia and the Forest Spirit. Then I've got Hinata from Haikyuu, because someone has to pick it. Then I've got Isaac from Castlevania. And my number one is Hanako from Full-Bound Hanako-kun.
Nice.
I was really close to picking Isaac, but I felt with Isaac, there's a little too much surrounded in mystery about his character. And also, Hanako-kun had his good mix of serious and fun moments. Whereas I think a character like... I don't have what I needed. But let's... Reese, why did you pick Sakaido as your number one? I'll get to your reason, Elliot, in a minute, but we'll start with Reese.
Well, he just has a really tragic backstory that ties into the whole anime.
That's a pretty... It does work out really well. It has that excellent arc that really works out well. Was there a similar reason for you, Elliot?
I just think throughout the entire thing, he has a really cool, interesting arc, and not to mention, he's a really interesting character. Like how in the cells he doesn't kill people, but gets them to commit suicide just by talking to them, and how he doesn't really have a drug kill.
Yeah, we thought we lost you there, Elliot. You managed to survive, but
We caught half of that.
Again, Wi-Fi's pretty crap.
Well, I think I got most of it from my end of it, but I will say though, with Sakaido, I think he's a very interesting character. I mean, it's interesting that I didn't pick him for my top 5. He nearly made my top 5. I think the reason I didn't quite go for it was I don't know. I think he has a good character arc, but I think he had it took a long time to get to that. But they did a good job showing how his deductive skills work.
Yeah, I just thought he was an interesting character.
Me and Reese both picked Hanako-kun.
Yep.
He's a good mix of awesome and adorable. I think that's a good way to sum up that character. I'm actually kind of interested you didn't pick any of the railgun characters in this segment, Reese.
Well, there weren't that many male characters who had a focus.
I'm not explaining it.
Yeah, because the railgun is mostly the female cast.
You also were the only one who didn't pick any Castlevania characters out of them.
Yeah, they just missed out.
Yeah.
But the Castlevania characters have been so good.
So good.
So good.
Castlevania is definitely a show that's really built on its characters. More than anything else, I think.
Poor Alucard.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, Alucard. I feel so sorry for him after that last episode. Like, oh my god.
That's why he was so near the top for me, because I was like, dude, he got dicked over, and he was trying his best.
I like to know something that I found. I like to know something kind of funny. In the last episode, there were 2 sex scenes and 2 fight scenes happening at the same time.
Yep.
I think that was
pretty funny.
Yeah, because multiple people were getting penetrated.
In more ways than one.
I'm glad he said wink for the audio-only version.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is none of us picked the 3 of us that picked Castlevania characters. No one picked the same 2. Because I went for Isaac, Elliot went for Trevor, and Ren went for Alucard. I think Alucard's pretty good.
Last year or last Castlevania season, I went for Dracula.
But in retrospect, I would have gone for Dracula. I think Dracula had the best biology. Actually, that was one of the things about Castlevania. I think it kind of lost me in the last 2 episodes a little bit because I was kind of going, okay, where are we going with this? And then it kind of won me back with the final episode.
Oh no, I was with it the entire way through.
In spite of the fact, the very final plot twist surrounding the judge, I was kind of going, okay, what's the point of that twist? It's kind of a case of, it's a cool twist, but it also means, well, what does it mean, really?
I think it's kind of symbolizing. I think it especially helps with Cypher because she really trusted the judge only to learn this and only to like see. So like she's going into Trevor's world.
Well,
Like-
let's see how. Yeah,
It's like what Trevor said. It's like what Trevor said at the end of the show. Just we spent the last couple months in your world. Now we're entering mine.
Fine, I mean, yeah, I'm very interested to see where Castlevania is going to go going forward, especially considering that it's pretty much been confirmed with this season. We're not doing the game's plot anymore. We are pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much. There's not really much they can really do if they continue into plot.
Well,
with Trevor.
there is a game after Castlevania 3 that has Hector as the main character.
So yeah, they might bring in a few elements of that into season 4, but again,
Yeah, because there's a 3-year time skip between Castlevania 3 and the one with Hector.
yeah,
So there's still time to adapt the game.
There is still time to adapt that game. I mean, admittedly, even season 1 and 2, which have been with Castlevania 3, have been loose adaptations of that game.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's mostly because we didn't get much of a story from Castlevania 3. It was mostly just a prequel to the first Castlevania.
Shall we
Yeah,
talk best sequels since we're on this subject?
Yes.
Okay, we'll start with you again, Reese. This will be one time Isoken. Incidentally, the scores at this point are Isoken's on 30. Second place is Samara the Forest with 18. It invaded, and then you've got Castlevania's got 14 points.
Okay.
So that's rather interesting. Let's see what have you got for us, Reese?
So third, I've got Isekai Quartet.
Finally starting to get on the ball with positive points.
Second, I've got Railgun T.
Oh, that surprised me.
Oh wow!
And first, Castlevania.
Okay, that's surprising. Wow.
Continue. Okay. Elliot?
I've only got 2. I would have a third, but I kind of forgot about Laid Back Camp until like a couple days ago, and thought I don't have time to watch that.
Yeah. Well, it's not actually laid back. It's Room Camp. It's a load of 3-minute shorts.
Ah, okay. All right. Anyway,
You might have had time in that case.
So number 2 is Isekai Quartet, and of course number 1 is Castlevania.
Yeah. No.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to
This
move on
is 12
to,
points for Castlevania. I'm thinking. So my number 2 was Isekai Quartet. I know I gave it one of the disappointments, but it was still good. And Castlevania.
It was still good. It was still a good show. It definitely picked up around the end.
Okay,
It's just.
I actually had 4 because I went with Madoka Magica. Side story is going to get a point from me there. It was still alright. Isekai Quartet was pretty good. And then I went Castlevania Season 3 as my runner-up. And Haikyuu was my winner.
Wow!
Is anyone surprised? Let's be honest. He's a massive Haikyuu fan.
It really was going to be Castlevania for the longest time. Actually, in all honesty, it really was going to be Castlevania. But then Haikyuu had a second half, and it just edged over. That was my point. It's kind of like what.
Well, for me, Railgun probably will take over, but there's still a couple of episodes left. Whereas Castlevania's finished now.
Railgun was slowed down by the coronavirus, halting production a couple of times.
I think it was like 3 weeks in total.
Yeah, so they're going to be held back a little bit.
Yeah,
it's a shame, but
it will be a holdover.
It will be a holdover. You will still be the only one doing holdovers next month. It's a weird thing for me though. I mean, admittedly, Castlevania's really shot ahead. It's now got a total 4.
The thing with Castlevania with this season is the exact opposite of the last season. Last season with Castlevania, everyone left happy. In this season, everyone left miserable.
Yep.
And I love it.
And it's going to get so much worse.
Is it me, or is Alucard turning into the Beast in Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah. Except a bit extreme in his measures.
Good God, that last episode. Wow. That was a ride.
Of all of them, Castlevania really is still exciting as well. I actually thought we were going to get a dip this season, and it wasn't going to work out so well. But man, I was wrong. We've had an excellent season for the most part. Great character moments, great character writing, some excellent animation, excellent action scenes.
Like, legit, despite the fact that this might have been sort of a bit more considered a filler season than the last couple ones, this is probably my favorite season so far of Castlevania.
Yeah, Castlevania definitely had that element that you got a great all-star cast who are filling in the roles. Now, like, it's excellent. We've got Bill Nye and Jason Isaacs in there. I mean, it's very surprising, but it shows how good the material is that they're able to get these guys in to do this.
Like I was 4 in Oakenshield playing Trevor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That is really.
And Dwalin playing Dracula as well.
Yeah, Dwalin playing Dracula. It's
like, oh my god, they have such an amazing cast.
It's kind of. I mean, the thing that as I say, Castlevania really was a standout for me. Haikyuu is excellent, but I think I'm going to enjoy the next half of the season, which is going to come after a bit of a break in the summer, even more. I think as much as I liked Haikyuu, we obviously got the first what we thought would be the first half of the season, which is most of the training and the setup, which is all still really good and was excellent this time around. In fact, it was better than usual. But most of the great stuff comes from the actual matches, and we only got a bit of that this time around. We're going to get much more of it in the summer.
I'm still dead upset I wasn't able to watch Haikyuu. It's been on my list for a long time. I might just read the manga at this point.
I will say the manga and the anime have slightly different times when characters come in and leave and do certain points happen. From what my research is, I haven't actually read the manga, but I would say, to be fair, we're all stuck inside at the minute, so we're all looking for really long series to do. Haikyuu is not the longest series. At the minute, it's only seven. I mean, say only, but at the minute, it's 72 episodes.
It still took me a long time. Food Wars was less episodes. It still took me a while to get through that.
Yeah, it is. I will say I'm not expecting people to do it. I'm just saying in general, if people are looking for sports anime to get into, they want to take up their time. It's all on Crunchyroll.
Yeah. Well, you guys have 40 years worth of Gundam to watch.
Working on it.
I'm looking into getting the original series on DVD.
Incidentally, I'm not watching any of Bill Divers in the spring.
No, don't.
I don't think anyone is.
I'm so done with it now.
Bill Divers season 2 was horrendous.
And it doesn't look like this one's going to be much better.
I mean, hell, I don't think the first Bill Divers was even that good.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I'm looking. I like the fact that they've actually announced that new Gundam movie that's coming down the line.
Yeah, Hathaway's Flash.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Is that a Universal Century timeline film?
Yeah. It follows the story of Bright Noah's son.
Right. Yeah, I wonder what that was about. Yeah, that looks like it will be genuinely quite interesting. It also looks like it wouldn't be so tied to you have to know everything about the 100 Years' War and the whole
War.
The 1 Year War. Sorry, I'm getting.
You're thinking actual history, Cal.
Yeah, it's going to get tied to that event. It feels like you won't need to be ultra in the knowledge to get that film.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll wait and see when it comes out. I mean, I think it's a foregone conclusion what's winning, but let's get on with Best Originals to get our points, because we might have all picked something different here. Reese, let's start with you.
Fifth, I've got Science Types.
Okay.
Fourth, I've got Bo Fury.
Yep.
Third, Toilet Bound. Second, Izoken.
Oh, God. Next, Izoken. Okay, good. Okay, first.
Somali.
Mark comes first. That's brilliant, actually. I found that interesting. Yeah. I'll ask you why in a minute, but we'll start with you, Elliot. What did you have?
Number 5 was Bo Fury.
Bo Fury. Okay.
Number 4 was Inspector.
Yep.
Number 3 was Keep Your Hands Off Isoken.
Okay.
Number 2 was Summon the Forest Spirit. It was so close to being number 1, but number 1 for me was ID Invaded.
Oh, that's interesting.
I really liked ID Invaded. I really, really enjoyed it.
Ren?
What were my best originals? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. The ones I kind of watched all the way through, so I haven't decided to give points to the ones I haven't completed. So, Darwin's Game, Science Types Fell in Love, and Keep Your Hands Off Isaac-N.
I would say it's really annoying that Darwin's Game has more points than Inspector at this point.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Inspector isn't getting, in my opinion, Inspector isn't getting nearly enough love as it should.
Okay, my lot now. I'll open up. Science Types, I went with first up, so that's its final score. Then I had Inspector, which is now tied with Darwin's Game. Then I went with Somali, The Forest Spirit. Then Keep Your Hands Off Isaac-N was my runner-up. And my number 1 was Toilet Bound Hana-Cocoon.
Am I the only one who even had ID Invaded in his best original?
You only had it Invaded in your top lot. That was interesting. We'll come to you in a minute, Elliot. Reese, we'll start with you. Big reason why Somali took the top spot for you.
I think with Somali, the show is greater than the sum of its parts. Because all the characters work so well, like the dynamic between Somali and the Golem on their journey. And just what happens to the Golem near the end.
Oh god, yeah. Like, I remember, like, I was in tears. I was in legit tears at the end. Like, I just remember seeing that ending, and or just like seeing the last few episodes, just like, holy crap.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for a season 2 with Somali. I think it will really benefit from keep going. I mean, would you guys pick up the manga if we don't get a season 2?
Don't know. Don't know really. Honestly, I don't even know if we will get. I don't know really. I don't know if we will get a season 2 because I mean, who knows how much time Golem has left.
I'm not entirely convinced, but I think we might get a season 2. The manga's still ongoing, so that gives us some hope for more.
Maybe, yeah.
Not only you didn't pick, It Invaded nearly made my top lot, but it just missed off.
ID Invaded, I just thought was like a really interesting concept. Like, you know that movie Cell with a person going into the mind of a serial killer?
Yeah, it is very similar to that show.
It's basically that, but done a lot better, and it's just really interesting characters. Like everyone trying to find this person, this John Walker person, trying to figure out what he's doing, why he's doing it, and I just think it was really interesting and really good.
The mystery does actually work as a whole, I think. It's
Yeah,
not
definitely.
Yeah, is it me? Or is it a combination of Psychopaths and Minority Report?
Yeah, it's very, very similar, but Psychopaths took a lot from Minority Report already, so it's not surprising that both of those shows...
Yeah, I mean, Giga did say it was like Psychopaths, compared to something like Psychopaths and Minority Report.
But the thing about that is... But the thing is, with Psychopaths, they just borrowed slight elements from it. One of the last shots of It Invaded just made me go, okay, that's not even what I would call... That's not even like Minority Report. That's shot for shot from Minority Report.
Yeah.
Ren, you picked Isoken. You were the only one who picked it for the number 1. Everyone else had it in their top 5, and you were the only one who picked number 1.
Yeah, I just thought it was phenomenal. It was a really interesting concept. I've not seen done in the same kind of way. A lot of insight into it as well, I suppose. I don't know, just really unique.
To be honest, it was a close call for me between Toilet Bound Isoken and Somali. I went with Hana-Cocoon at the end because I found myself recommending it the most. I found myself enjoying just going week to week with it. I enjoyed the characters and the setting quite a lot. And ultimately, out of all of them, it's the one I most want to see a continuation of. I think that would be the one between Somali and Toilet Bound Harlequin. I think it's out of the two of them, I'm more going to be disappointed if I don't have a continuation of that one.
Can I be honest with Isaacon?
Yeah.
I thought the ending was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, that was one thing.
I mean, it doesn't really conclude. It more just kind of ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few anime like that, and Isaac doesn't break that.
Yeah,
down.
it kind of makes me think. I hope we get a season 2, another season, just to like see what happens next, just so like we could get a proper, like a really proper conclusion.
It is based on an ongoing manga, so there is material for them to do another season.
Yeah, hopefully it's good. It's good enough to get another season.
What? Okay. I think we're not exactly done yet because we need to pick an anime of the season. But I think this might be a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious which one is gonna win.
Although I will say, if we're going by the list, you'll be happy, Elliot. The one that Nobunaga is the bottom with -3.
Thank you. At the same time, though, I was literally the only one who watched it.
Yeah.
Yes, you did a great service to us, young man. We salute you. So, incidentally, no surprises. Key Hands of Isaacon, number 1 with 36 points. Second place was Somali, that had 25. Castlevania came third with 24. Then it's then to fill out the next 2 spots, it's Toilet Bound Harlequin and It Invaded both got 17 points each. So there it is. But I think this is very similar to Demon Slayer in the sense of it's so far ahead. Like if you compare Somali and Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken, there's 11 points separating them. It was so consistent, and it was so consistent amongst our list. I think it has to be the win at this point.
It has to be at this point.
Yeah.
Do I have any objections to that being the anime of the season?
Absolutely not.
I'm supposing none from you, Ren, since you picked it over all of your best.
Nope, no objection whatsoever.
Well, there you go. That was easy enough.
Woo!
Amigos anime this season, winter 2020 is
keep your hands off Isaac.
Everybody except Reese because he's holding the phone. Clap your hands.
It's probably one of the easiest we've had to deliberate over.
Can I say
I think
was Somali and the Forest Spirit doing as well as it did? I did not expect it to do that well.
As I said, for me, Somali was very close to becoming my best original, but I think ID Invaded only just overtook it.
I'm quite glad it tied with Toilet Bound Harlequin and It Invaded both made the top 5, but the 2 that me and you were gunning for both had got in the top 5. A couple of the ones, and I mean Castlevania. There was no surprise. I knew we were all going to love that one.
Oh yeah.
I mean that was pretty much all guaranteed.
The one that surprised me the most was Inspector didn't do as well as I thought it was going to do. I thought that was going to do a lot better.
Inspector didn't get nearly as much love. Like I think most of the love it got came from me.
And Science Types didn't make the top 5 as well. That was also a surprise.
Yeah,
to
I'm
me.
surprised at that.
How well did Railgun do?
It got 6 points.
Woo!
Bothry got 8. I will say Darwin's Game doing as well as it did also surprised me. It tied with Inspector with 10 points, which is actually genuinely surprising. So that was really genuinely surprising. Is there anything you guys are really looking forward to? So let's talk about spring, because spring's coming up. Provided that no release dates change or anything like that, which at the minute it's not looking like there will be many changes. Most productions seem to be on schedule and seem to be going ahead.
We've already got one that's come out, Tower of God, which has actually gotten some really good reviews.
Yeah, that's not too bad so far.
Me and Ren watched that the other day. That was pretty good. Another one, we watched a few shows, and some of them are pretty good. One I'm looking forward to is premiering today on Funimation. It's called Arte, which is a sort of Renaissance Italy anime. It looks genuinely interesting. Which is weird because I know it's coming to the UK Funimation, but they've not been advertising it at all. It's not even on their schedule of anime coming out. And I was like, wait, but I have this article from Anime News Network that's saying, yeah, it's going to be in the UK Funimation. So God knows what's going on with that one. There's not many. Well, obviously for me, Fruits Basket Season 2's out.
Obviously for me, Kaguya-sama Lovers War Season 2.
Oh yeah, I think that's for all of us. We all like the first season of that.
Alright then, for one me and Reese will be kind of excited for, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
And one that Reese brought up was coming out the day after we recorded this. New Digimon.
Yeah, the Digimon reboot.
Yeah.
One that's gotten me very excited. We're getting a new Vanguard spin-off. Woo!
More Vanguards. That's excellent.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing about Digimon reboot, which I'll see if you agree with me on this one, Reese. It seems weird that we've done the Digimon Adventure Tri movies, then we've had this big movie that's a sequel to that, and just mere months after that comes out, we're rebooting the entire franchise again. It seems really weird they wouldn't let that sit before they said, now we're going to do a whole completely soft reboot.
Well, it's because the Digimon movies were making less and less money as they went on.
It's trying to go
and
with
the last TV show, which was a spin-off called Applemon, really bombed in Japan.
Oh, yes, they didn't even bother localising that over here.
So they lost a crap ton of money with that. So they thought, safe bets, reboot it, everyone loved the original, we'll just do that again.
At the same time, to go back to Vanguard, in all fairness, straight away after the G series, they basically rebooted the entire series, which also led to them rebooting the card game pretty much.
But again, that tied in with the product placement, so that made sense for a reboot. With Digimon, for me, it seems a little too soon to be rebooting it, but I completely get from a financial standpoint why we're getting a new Digimon production so soon. I like Digimon Adventure. I like the first incarnation of it. I'll be interested to see what changes will come this time round. Like maybe
because it looks a lot more cyberspace focused.
Well, yeah, because the original Digimon was much more of an amalgam of urban fantasy and sci-fi. Whereas this one looks like it's going to lean a bit more towards the sci-fi, similar to how Digimon Tamers lean towards the sci-fi.
Yeah.
One for me and Calvin that I'm very excited for, new Food Wars.
Oh yeah, Food Wars final season's coming out. Yeah, that'll be excellent.
Yeah, let's see where it goes.
A new Sword Art Online, I guess.
I mean,
woo.
I'm gonna.
Is Kirito no longer a vegetable yet?
Yeah.
Newest sentence of a bookworm and No Guns Life as well.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch Sentence of a Bookworm.
I'm
Unfortunately,
definitely watching No Guns Life.
Actually, why is brand new Animal is in Netflix jail, so we won't be seeing that, unfortunately. For now, but one that Netflix has got, but they say they might. But I think I've heard we are getting a simulcast of it. Is Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045? I definitely like the look of that one. I mean, it looks like a ton of effort's been put into the animation. This one, so
we're getting one called BNA, which is done by Trigger. That should be pretty interesting.
That's one in Netflix jail.
Yeah, it's that new furry one.
Yeah. That means they have two furry anime now. That and Beastars.
Yep.
I will say one that sounds, one that looks quite like it'll be an interesting slice of life is called Sing Yesterday for me. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. Based on the premise alone of it. One that I know Reese is going to love because I saw the first episode of it last night is called Listeners. And it's basically a music mecha anime.
Oh, awesome.
With a sort of yeah, it has a bit of a steampunky type setting, or more a dieselpunk type setting.
Oh, yeah.
So it's honestly, first episode premiered on Funimation last night. It's not done too well with the reviews at the minute, with sort of general anime goers, because it's got like a 3.2 out of 5 average on Anime Planet, and I think that me and Ren saw that, and we would definitely not say it's a 3.2.
We have a
4 stars.
Another one that I think is going to go worldwide because of Netflix is Baki Season 2. I haven't seen the first season of that, so I need to look into that one.
It's not too bad, actually.
The wrestling one, isn't it?
Yeah, like kind of extreme fighting. It's not
We
too
get to
bad.
the third season of Kingdom, which, if I remember, is actually a very highly ranked manga. So hopefully that will be somewhat decent.
Third season of My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. I really need to get around to finishing off the first 2 seasons of that. Glenn Pneer, that's another original one that looks like it might be quite interesting. I think Funimation's got it, so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
It seems like the isekai one we'll be getting this season is Eighth Son. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've seen the first episode of that one.
Mm.
It does. I can tell you from the start, it's not as bad as Wise Man's Grandchild. It's leaning to a state where it could go as bad though. So I'm gonna have to wait and see on that one.
Is it as bad as High
At
School
the same time, a bunch of isekai fans will love it because they all love Wise Man's Grandchild.
Mm.
No, it's not as bad as High School Prodigies. To answer your question, Bruce, no, it's already better than High School Prodigies.
Good.
It's already better within its first episode, and it barely did anything in its first episode. That's amazing. One that could go either way that I saw the first episode of is Wave Listen to Me. It's another one on Funimation that looks like it's going to be about radio, a woman who goes off her nuts on a radio.
Probably an Alex Jones character.
Except she's not as nuts, and isn't using her platform to sell products that don't work, allegedly. Allegedly, please don't sue. Tower of God, that's coming out. Look, Crunchyroll's really pushing this one. First episode was pretty good, but I'm interested to see where they're going with it.
I've heard it's got a good review, so I'm excited to watch that one.
Well, it's the highest reviewed anime from general audience goers so far this season, so I'll be interested to see how that goes down. I think that's all we really know about this one. I think there's going to be a few decent surprises in spring, that will complement the safe bets, if you catch my drift, like the fruits basket, all of those sequels that we really enjoyed. I think there'll be a bunch of surprises that will complement those, and we'll have and it looks like it'll be a pretty decent season overall. I don't know about you guys.
It seems mostly to be sequels, like a lot of the things to be excited for. But
I think
I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm looking forward to a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how it goes with the coming weeks and months. But again, we're obviously going to be in quarantine for all of it, so we're not getting out of the house anytime soon.
Yeah, so we're going to be able to keep up with a lot of it.
Woo.
Which I'll be able to do when I'm not procrastinating on Animal Crossing and Persona 5 Royal and Resident Evil remake and Resident Evil 3 remake and Final Fantasy 7 remake.
And the remake.
I'll tell you one of the ones though that I'm just really looking forward to this next season. I think it will be a really interesting one. I feel very motivated this season.
I already have a feeling this season is going to be better than Winter.
Yeah, I definitely think it will be. I think that we're all building up to the fall season, which will probably be the best season of the year. Just judging by what's been coming up in that season, I think fall's going to be the season where we're all going to go nuts.
Yeah, fall's going to be amazing. Like, we have New Promised Neverland, new Slime, Attack on Titans coming out that season.
Yeah, it feels like the anime world is saving up for that season.
Oh, and one I know Red will be very happy for, new Golden Kamuy.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm very excited for that one. I love Golden Kamuy. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm very surprised it's even existing, to be honest. I thought Golden Kamuy wasn't enough of a hit that it was going to get a third season. So, see it happening is very promising for the anime industry.
Yeah, definitely.
So, normally this would be where I'd say we'll be back next month with another one, but we decided since we have this system in place and we can do these recordings, we're gonna meet our quota that we're gonna do what we promised. So we're gonna do a second one this month. So in 2 weeks' time, we're gonna be back with our review of Beastars. We were also gonna review Violet Evergarden and the Tale of the Auto Memory Doll, but it's Violet Evergarden. you know our thoughts on Violet Evergarden.
It's going to be amazing either way.
It's good. Yeah, I think we're not going to talk about Violet Evergarden again until we have access to the movie, because it feels like that one's going to radically push forward the franchise. Especially considering that it's going to be an epilogue to I think it's an epilogue to the show. So that's the next time we'll talk about Violet Evergarden. I'm really looking about Beastars. I have a lot to say about Beastars.
I feel like considering the coronavirus, I feel like our Fate Stay Night reviews are going to be a bit delayed.
Yeah, they're really delayed at this point.
We're not going to be getting the DVDs for a while.
So, y'all know what's happening with that one, but we will be keeping up our content. We're going to have at least one thing out every month until we're allowed outside properly again. The UK government hasn't said when the rules are going to change. Anytime. I mean, they're up for review next week, but judging by the fact that there hasn't been an incredible amount of change, I don't see the regulations lowering. In fact, I actually see them possibly increasing.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be out of lockdown anytime soon.
I mean, we might. Luckily, looking at it, we might get out of lockdown in time for the best of spring, and possibly, and we're even potentially going to AnimeCon still. We're potentially going to London AnimeCon. It has said it's still on for the first weekend of July, which genuinely surprises me because I thought they'd move that back, but they wouldn't have enough time to. Even if we come out of lockdown in the beginning of June, is that enough time to say let's organise all the stalls, all the merch stands, everything, and have a load of people?
I mean, from an email they've said like they're taking extra precautions to make sure everyone's safe and stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't end up going to AnimeCon. I mean, we'll do something in the summer if we don't go, but. But at this point, I would say, assume we're going until they say otherwise.
Yeah.
But next month we're back with anime fights, but before that we will be reviewing Beastars in the next one, and we'll give our thoughts on the Annie Trending Awards and how they're looking at the minute. So, with all that's said and done, thank you very much for tuning in to us. We're sorry about the audio issues. We're working as hard as we can to see what we can do about it.
So reference, I'm just looking at the size of the video file that I've recorded, and it's 47 gigabytes large.
Wow.
I don't know how that's happened, but
we'll speak. So we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye, everyone.
bye all.
Stay safe.
Thanks. Later.